Introduce yourself.
Is it recording? Okay. This is Jerome Durley Hickman Jr. I'm going to tell you my opinion how I feel about the governor over in Indiana. He's trying to get a religious rights freedom law passed that's supposed to protect religious freedom rights. And this law that he's trying to pass is going to cause discrimination between gays and lesbians. And I'm against this bill pretty much because I feel like, yeah, I do support religious free speech. I'm for religious free speech. But I am not for the idea of any business should have the right to discriminate against you because you're gay and lesbian. Or a bakery can have the right to refuse to make a wedding cake for gay couples because they don't agree with gay marriage. Even if they don't agree with gay marriage, that's fine. But at the same time, you shouldn't have the right to choose not to make a cake for their gay wedding if that's what they want to have. Because that's like me saying, well, it's okay for me not to make a cake for straight people that ain't married when they have their stuff. So right there, that's discrimination. And all I got to say about the governor is that I hope that when election day comes up, I hope they vote you. I hope everybody in Indiana votes you out of office, because your decision that you're making about this religious freedom law that you're trying to pass, it's wrong, it's nasty, it's disgusting, and this law is not only going to hurt gays and lesbians, but it's going to hurt straight people too that look gay. You know, you may have men out here that may not like gay people, that may not be gay at all. But they talk like a woman, and they walk like a woman, and talk like a woman, but they're not gay, and they don't like gay people, whatever. This law is going to affect them too, because what if they go to a place of a business that they don't even know this person, and they say, well, I don't want to serve to you because you're gay. That's going to affect people, straight people that also are not gay too, just as bad as it's going to affect gays and lesbians. So no, we cannot have this law passed and have this bill passed that a business should have the right to not serve, or they should have a right to discriminate or not do business with a certain person, with people because they're gay. Because one of the shows that I seen on Sunday morning, well, I didn't see it on Sunday, I didn't watch it when they were showing the live broadcast of it, but I seen it on one of the local news, and they was here in Louisville, and they was talking about how this one show, I don't know if it was on ABC News or Fox News or ABC News or CBS News or NBC News, but it was some kind of morning show on Sunday that interviewed the Indiana governor about, does this bill, do you support, they asked him, some questions, do you support discrimination? He says, no, and they asked him twice. They asked him two different questions on it. Every time when they asked him about it, he started acting all kind of fun. He started acting funny about it, like he didn't want to answer the questions, like he just didn't want to answer them. But everything else he would answer that they asked him. But he did not. But the problem was he didn't want to answer the questions about, do you support discrimination? So common sense tell you that he does. I think he does support discrimination, in my opinion. Because it looks suspicious. So in my opinion, I think he does support discrimination, and he just don't want to admit to it. That's why this bill he's trying to pass. And no, I don't disagree with the gays and lesbians and everybody trying to say, well, we don't want Indiana to have this Final Four, or I don't want Indiana to have the championship games and stuff going on in Indiana, because for number one, why should we give Indiana all this money for them to make off everybody when they want to pass a law, when their governor wants to pass a law that it's okay for business to discriminate? So why should gays and lesbians that's going to go to these basketball games at the Final Four and championship games spend a bunch of money to support revenues in Indiana, and half the money's probably paying the governor's salary and shit, crap or whatever. So why should we have to support the Indiana or the governor of Indiana if the governor doesn't want to support our rights as have a right to go to places without being discriminated against? So it just doesn't make no sense. And All I say is that when election day comes up, I hope everybody in Indiana votes him out because he's no good. He's prejudiced. He's evil, in my opinion. And I'm just glad that I don't live in Indiana because, you know, I love Indiana and I wouldn't mind living there. And I'm crazy about Indiana, but I wouldn't want to live there if he's governor of Indiana and running Indiana. And all I got to say is that, yeah, he's trying to cover stuff up, but at the same time, he really is trying to discriminate against gays and lesbians. And that's what I'm seeing out of the situation. Because, and don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with religious free speech. You know, rights to religious free speech on government property and private property and even in churches. I don't disagree with religious free speech. I'm for that. And I'm for the idea that if you are a religious person or you run a religious business and if you have employees working for you and if you don't want your health insurance or benefits to cover abortion, then I perfectly support a business right to not cover abortion if they choose not to. But as far as support discrimination toward saying that you're not welcome to come in or be here, or we can't make your cakes for your wedding or your gay marriage or whatever, or any occasion that you do, that's wrong, it's nasty, and it's disgusting. This is Jerome Durleitman Jr. Gotta go.
Click the button.